Good evening. Hello and welcome. You're with the news today. Start of a brand new week. Newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point tonight. Who will judge the judges? That's right. The cash found in a judge's house has sparked off a national debate. Former Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi will join us. Also, two top former judges will be on my special show tonight. Also, Shiv Sena resorts to violence, targeting a comedian, Kunal Kamra. Right to free speech under attack once more. We'll be looking at that too. But the story that's breaking at this moment, the Supreme Court has now officially transferred the judge, Justice Verma, back to his parent court, the Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court has now, its Bar Association though, has passed a resolution seeking an impeachment of Justice Yashwant Verma. Remember, it was in Justice Verma's house that large wads of cash were reportedly found when a fire broke out at his residence. The association is saying an in-house inquiry is unacceptable to the judicial fraternity. They want the judge to be impeached. That's the big story that's coming at this moment. Our legal editor, Nalini Sharma, is joining me. Nalini, what happens next, given the fact that the Supreme Court has officially transferred Justice Verma out? Where does this case go from here?
Well, Rajdeep, there are three parameters on which this entire matter is now going to proceed. Number one, regarding the transfer, the Supreme Court Collegium has recommended the transfer, or the repatriation rather, back to the Allahabad High Court of Justice Yashwant Verma. Now the ball falls into the court of the central government to approve this and make this happen. It remains to be seen how soon they can do it. The second aspect on which the development we can expect is the three-member inquiry panel that has been set up by the Chief Justice of India, which is essentially going to be a fact-finding committee that is going to determine what were the facts and what were the chain of events that happened on the night of March 14th when there was fire at Justice Verma's residence. The third and the most important aspect is the indefinite strike that has now been called in by the Allahabad High Court Bar Association against the repatriation that has been confirmed by the Supreme Court Collegium. So it remains to be seen exactly how the Allahabad High Court Bar as well as the Allahabad High Court Judiciary react to Justice Verma's repatriation back to his parents' High Court. So on all three aspects, we're expecting fast-paced developments in the coming days, and it remains to be seen what finally emerges out of the fact-finding committee that has been set up by the Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev.
Okay, Nalini Sharma saying the situation still remains fluid as to what actions will be taken, particularly by that judicial in-house committee that has been appointed by the Chief Justice of India. That's a good point on which to go to one of my first guests this evening. Mukul Rohatgi is one of the country's distinguished senior advocates, former Attorney General of the country. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Rohatgi. I want to ask you, what is your view? Do you believe that this case will be swept under the carpet as some fear, or is it moving in the right direction?
It's a serious issue. I think it is moving in the right direction. The Chief Justice of India has acted with alacrity by appointing an in-house committee as soon as possible. There has been no dragging of feet. The only puzzling thing which I have been saying on the different channels in the last 2-3 days is, where is the recovery of the cash? There seems to be no recovery. Either it has been completely swept away. Where are the half-burnt notes? That is the evidence. Primary evidence has gone away. What was the police doing when it reached there? Why did it not seize the evidence? Why did it not make a panchnama with 2 independent witnesses? If there is a huge amount of cash, some cash must have been unburnt or semi-burnt. How did income tax not come into the picture? These are very worrying things. How is it that when the Chief Justice sent a person the next day, did he see any cash? Did he not see any cash? I mean, Please understand, you can't have a murder without a body being found. The second thing which I want to say is, see, transfer or no transfer, the correct thing was that judicial work was withdrawn, because you can't have a person in a doubtful situation sitting on the bench dispensing justice. But the transfer, in any case, has to be first accepted by the government of India. This transfer does not take effect on its own. God knows what view the government will take. But the transfer, another mystifying thing is that the Supreme Court is on record saying that this transfer has nothing to do with the in-house inquiry. I am baffled to hear that. According to me, it has everything to do with this episode and this inquiry. And in fact, the transfer, according to me, is clearly punitive. It is not for any other reason except that, the judge should maybe kind of taught a lesson and so on and so forth.
You're making important news points that I'm going to ask my producer to flash on the screen, because the fact is, and I want clarity on this from you, Mr. Rohatgi, you're saying the police panchnama. Why was that not put in place? You're saying where is the actual evidence which could be half burnt or some notes that were not burnt? You're telling me that you're surprised that the income tax has still not given a statement on where they stand. Is there an income tax inquiry? Now, there are two views, Mr. Rohatgi. One is the judge himself is claiming this could be a conspiracy against him, that he had nothing to do with the cash that was found in his house. The other is that this is the tip of the iceberg, that this cash could be part of a wider net which could involve the judge. We don't know. It would be unfair to target him at this stage. But either way, you're saying that the police and the income tax and the fire department also need to come clean. Am I correct? And come public with their statements.
Absolutely correct, because we have had two contradictory statements of the fire department in 2 days.
So what is your suspicion? What is your suspicion, Mr. Rohatgi? Was someone trying to protect the judge, or is this a classic case where we are not being told the entire truth?
I don't know, Rajdeep, but all the facts are not on the table. If you were to ask me, let's say one side of the coin is that huge amounts of money is found in a judge's house. That ipso facto damns the judge, and a very serious explanation is required from him. The other part of the coin is where are those notes in 4 gunny bags? Who brought them? Was it genuine money or was it fake money? Who would burn so much money and keep it, or allow it to be burned and keep it in an outhouse? Everybody puts even a 100-rupee note in one's pocket. How would anybody keep it in an outhouse which may be accessed by different people? And the judge wasn't there that day. He arrived after 24 hours. He says that there was no money. Actually, the only evidence we have is that blurred video which you are showing on the screen just now, which also has half-burnt or semi-burnt notes I can see on the screen.
So, but that video, Mr. Rohatgi, has been put out by the Supreme Court itself. So the
Absolutely
Supreme Court
right.
itself. So therefore, I wonder, is someone trying to fix the judge in your view? Is that a real fear?
I don't know. So these are very puzzling issues. If somebody want to fix the judge, would you burn 20 crores of good currency? Or was it fake currency? Or was it a mix? That one bag may have real currency, the others may have fake currency. You require a forensic probe. Now no probe is possible because everything has gone away. The first thing is the commissioner of police must explain why was not the half-burnt note seized, or if not seized by him, income tax should have been called. What has happened to that kind of thing? What is the report that he gave to the Home Minister as to what he found? Is it at variance with the fire department? And to top it all, today's newspaper says that the Safai Karamcharis of the NDMC found evidence of burnt notes or semi-burnt notes in the raddi or the rubbish mixed with leaves, because this is spring, onset of spring, all along the footpath outside the house. I
Mhm.
don't know, what is really happening.
No,
All
so
the
so
cards
what? So
are not
what?
on the
So
table.
so, so, so from what you're saying, look, would I be right in saying, Mr. Rohatgi, that judges themselves through an in-house inquiry cannot become police investigators? They cannot, these loopholes that you're pointing out clearly, therefore, require a multi-agency probe, not just a judicial in-house inquiry. Do you therefore
Absolutely.
believe that there should be a SIT formed which should include income tax, include police, and a time-bound probe be put
Yeah,
in
but so
place?
Rajdeep, you are right, but there are some stumbling blocks there. The law requires this in-house informal inquiry by 3 judges, which has been ordered. Let us hope they do their job in the next 2 weeks, because this cannot brook any delay. On one side, evidence is disappearing. The judge, if he is guilty, he must be wrapped for moral turpitude. If the judge is innocent, his reputation has
Right.
become mud. It should be cleared at the earliest. So let's hope they give
Let,
a verdict as soon as possible. But as you said, that
yes.
cannot be the end of it, for the simple reason you require the police, maybe the income tax, maybe a forensic department. You have to examine the CDR of the judge for the last 3 months. You have to
Can I,
examine CCTVs. You need specialists to do that. A judge can't examine a CDR and come to a conclusion and examine a CCTV. Whether the CCTV is functional, whether it is fudged, whether the video, every video, Rajdeep, is not ipso facto evidence. It has to be proved in accordance with law that there is a proper video, it's not a doctored video,
right.
etc., etc. So you
Can,
require a full-blown inquiry. Now, for a full-blown inquiry, you require the registration of a first information report. A first information report and investigation in the case of higher judiciary can only be with the consent of the Chief Justice of India. Because as you understand, judges are very vulnerable to millions of complaints every day, because
I,
every disgruntled person will make a complaint. I know for a fact 99.9% complaints are rubbish, but that's why
can
you
I,
require one more layer. So all
can
this
I
has to be
therefore,
done.
can I therefore ask you in conclusion, as you say you require one more layer, do you believe this is the tip of the iceberg? That what has happened is actually exposing what is one of the worst kept secrets, some believe, that there is corruption in the higher judiciary. Can we say that now with any conclusiveness?
I don't think you can say it today, because as I told you, there are strong points on either side. We don't know what is the final conclusion till at least we get a report of these 3 judges. It will throw some light, and then one will decide how to go forward. But undoubtedly, it's a sad day in the life of the judiciary that these things are happening. The
What?
earlier we get to the bottom of it, it's better. And let me end by saying the real way out is to have a structured revamp of these kind of inquiries and the process of impeachment, which is virtually well nigh impossible, because the final step is impeachment. Impeachment has not happened in the last 75 years of the Constitution. You have to have a better system. Impeachment is not the correct system.
I will still therefore ask you, and I will be going to judges in a moment as to whether impeachment actually works or not. But do you believe, therefore, that Justice Verma should not be assigned any cases? He's been transferred to Allahabad. The lawyers there are threatening to go on a strike. Do you believe he should not be assigned any cases till this matter is cleared?
Yes, I don't think he should be assigned any work, at least till the report of the 3 judges ordered by the Chief Justice of India. And I must say at the end, and I've said it earlier, full marks to the Chief Justice of India for making all this transparent. At least we have seen the video, we have seen the report of the Chief Justice of the High Court, we have seen the explanation of the judge. Normally,
Right.
this would not have come out on public domain till a few months or a few steps later. But at least the
Okay.
Supreme Court, for the first time, has been more than transparent. And I say kudos to the Chief Justice of India.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Mukul Rohatgi. I appreciate you joining us and speaking with such clarity on the issue, saying that this cannot be just dealt with as a single agency probe. It really requires now multiple layers to operate for the truth to come out. Thank you very much. Just to give our viewers a context, an apex court, remember, has now appointed a panel and it's kicked off an in-house inquiry into what happened on the night of a fire on March 14th in the outhouse of a judge of the Delhi High Court. Did the cash that was found on video belong to the judge? Is it fake notes? Is it real notes? Justice Verma is claiming a conspiracy against him. There are those who are saying this could be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to judicial corruption. In a moment, I'll be joined by two judges. But first, take a look at the story.
Wads of cash reduced into ashes. This video of alleged cash haul is mounting the heat on the Delhi High Court judge, Justice Yashwant Verma. The judge has been de-rostered by the High Court and all judicial work withdrawn, while the probe into alleged cash haul is ramping up. A three-member High Court judge panel has launched an in-house inquiry on the unaccounted cash. Under the spotlight are the first responders to the fire at the judge's home. They will be quizzed on what happened on March 14th. The authenticity of the cash video and the site where money was found will be verified. The staff and security will be interrogated. The statements by the judge, the Delhi Police and the Delhi Fire Services will also be probed. The judge's call records are under scrutiny for two reasons: what information he received the night of the fire and what calls he made after receiving the call on the fire at his home. Justice Yashwant Verma has denied all allegations linking him to the burning cash, claiming the storeroom where it was allegedly found was accessible to all. The cash haul row echoed in Parliament, with Rajya Sabha Chairman Rajdeep holding a key meet with Leader of the House J.P. Nadda and Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge.
A very thoughtful suggestion emanated from Kharge ji that, consistent with parliamentary practice, the issue needs to be deliberated with the floor leaders. A meeting will accordingly be scheduled, where I would extend an invitation to floor leaders in the Council of States to take a call on this.
Claims and counterclaims mounting in the cash haul. All eyes are on whether the SC-appointed panel can unveil the truth. With Nalini Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
So who will judge the judges? Is an in-house inquiry sufficient in a case like this? What is now the ideal way to probe our judges? How do we restore public faith in judiciary? And joining me now to answer those big questions, two very special guests. I'm joined by Justice Madan Lokul, retired Supreme Court judge, and by Justice Sanjeev Banerjee, former Chief Justice of the High Courts of Madras and Meghalaya. Appreciate both of you joining me on the show. That central question, who will judge the judges? Is an in-house inquiry of the kind that has been ordered by the present Chief Justice, in your view, good enough? I ask this to both of you. Justice Lokul, why don't you take that first? Is this in-house procedure good enough to restore public faith in the judiciary?
Yes, thank you, Rajdeep. You know, so far as the present inquiry that you are adverting to about the cash being found at the residence of a judge, I don't think the present, in-house inquiry would be sufficient, because there are a lot of issues that have been raised. Okay, so it will have to be a sort of an investigation, both by the police and by the fire department, because of the response given by the judge. But, it depends upon each case. There are some cases in the past where the in-house inquiry has worked. For example, I remember doing a case in 2008 when I was a judge in Delhi High Court. Two Chief Justices were also the judges in the in-house inquiry. And we did a very good job. We gave a report in a short time. So that's not a problem. So it really depends upon each case.
Okay, but you're saying in this particular case, given the circumstances, it calls more for a police investigation or at least a substantial criminal investigation and not just the in-house inquiry. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Justice Banerjee, your view?
I think the first step is good. An in-house inquiry is good enough. But that in-house inquiry should have, the members of that committee should have access to police and the fire brigade officials and rely on some investigation report from them. So in a sense, I'm agreeing with Justice Lokur, but it should be done by the committee. And once the committee comes out with a report, and which should be as quick as possible, thereafter, law can take its own course.
But should that report, Justice Banerjee, be made? So should that report, Justice Banerjee, be made public? Because the fact is, the general fear is this in-house inquiry is extremely opaque. And therefore, the public's right to know will not be there. Today, the judge has already been transferred formally to Allahabad. So we will never know the reality unless that report is made public.
I think it should be made public now that so many facts have come to light. We were dealing with allegations till day before yesterday. Several facts have come to light. And we must know who the other players involved are. There are several names which are doing the rounds. If there are no fixers, you won't get people to fix. So we must find who are the persons at both ends. And we should get to the bottom of this, because let's not hide facts. There is corruption in the judiciary, but it's probably not to the extent as you make it out to be at the moment that almost everyone is. Most judges are honest, but there are black sheep and they have to be exposed and thrown out. And that is what we as an institution have failed to do. And we must address this immediately.
Justice Lokur, do you agree with that? That if and when the report is ready, it should be made public? Justice Banerjee seems to believe that that is the only way you will eventually come to the root of the problem, which is corruption in a section of the judiciary.
Yes. You see, it will eventually be made public, in the sense that assuming the judge is found guilty by the in-house committee and the Chief Justice of India accepts the view of the in-house committee, the impeachment proceedings will start, in which event it will obviously become public. The problem may arise if the judge is found not guilty by the in-house committee. Okay? In that event, of course, if it's made public, good for the judge. So
you mentioned there briefly the word impeachment. And the fear, Justice Lokur, is that impeachment being such an arduous process, it is almost impossible to impeach the judge. Therefore, let us assume, not this specific judge, but any judge tomorrow who's found to be corruption or is known to be corrupt, can he be impeached as easily, particularly in the higher judiciary? Now, the problem is in the lower judiciary, there's already allegations of massive corruption. It's now spreading to the higher judiciary. Is impeachment the answer? Do we need to find a better way, a quicker, better, time-bound way to ensure doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani?
You see, impeachment is a process, all right? After the process is over, after the process of impeachment is over, a person may be guilty, a person may be innocent. So impeachment is the process. Now, I think everywhere, it is this process of impeachment that is followed. Now, there are two things. One is that should, a committee sit to look into the matter before the process starts, or should it be a little later? You see, because after this, once the impeachment process starts, assuming the judge is found guilty, under the Judges Inquiry Act, there will be another inquiry. Okay? So one could argue that why should there be two inquiries? All right. But this inquiry, the in-house inquiry, is only for the purpose of advising the Chief Justice of India whether something has gone wrong, and if so, what is it that has gone wrong, so that if necessary, he can have an inquiry under the Judges Inquiry Act.
Impeachment specifically, Justice Banerjee, does it really work in the context of India in all these decades? It's never really reached fruition.
It is a political process, so therefore it's subject to, political considerations. Once it cleared one of the houses, and the judge resigned at the end of it without waiting for the fate in the other house. But there should be an in-house process, a memorandum of procedure, and none better than Justice Lokur and minds like him to set it down, both as to what should be done in cases like this, where there is a set of rules that would be followed, and also about the collegium system. And I mentioned the collegium system because this must not be used as an excuse to dismantle the collegium system, because then the independence of the judiciary will be gone. There are ways to improve it, but this must not be the excuse. As I hear it bandied all around that should go, but until we have a better process, this is the best.
Until we have a better process, this is the best. But critics will say, Justice Banerjee, it's a cozy club. Will judges be able to really do the kind of honest job that they are required to do when it involves a fellow judge with whom they may have a relationship?
The committee members have been chosen, hopefully, with the confidence of the Chief Justice of India, and there you must have some faith in the institution, in the office of the Chief Justice of India, that he would have chosen men of merit, of impeccable integrity, who will get to the bottom of this.
The fact is, though, Justice Lokur, there is this diminishing public faith. Now, you could call it that this is speculation, these are rumors, this is gossip, innuendo. The corridors of the Supreme Court and various courts are full of all kinds of gossip and innuendo. But dal mein kuch to kala hai. So therefore, do you really believe that an in-house system, a cozy club, can actually bring a resolution to cases of corruption?
Yeah, you see, I don't know what you mean by a cozy club. Okay, now look at it like this. If a bureaucrat commits a crime, say corruption, a departmental inquiry is held by whom? By his senior or somebody superior to him. If a policeman does something wrong, a departmental inquiry is held by whom? By a senior police officer. So this system, whether it pertains to bureaucrats, whether it pertains to the police, whether it pertains to judges, whether it pertains to anybody else, it's the people who are there, their peers, who judge whether something wrong has been done or not. So this cozy club idea, is it's a nice expression, but I don't think it works. Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you some hard facts, Justice Banerjee and Justice Lokur. Declaration of assets of High Court judges. Less than 7% of High Court judges in India have publicly declared their assets. Assets declared publicly only by 49 of 763 sitting High Court judges. 0 judges from 18 of the 25 High Courts have declared their assets. Justice Banerjee, should there be therefore compulsory mandatory asset declaration and an audit every year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is imperative. But I don't think that the assets should be made public. That is where a lot of judges fear. But declaration of assets every year with an audit is absolutely imperative. And there should be some mechanism available to the judiciary itself to undertake this kind of an investigation and audit. There could be a judicial audit kind of service, like there should be a judicial management service.
Justice Lokur, do you agree with Justice Banerjee? Compulsory mandatory asset declaration?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You see, so far as the district judiciary is concerned, all right, they have to declare their assets every year. All right. And they put it in a sealed cover and give it to the district judge. And perhaps give it to the High Court. All right. Now, so far as government officials are concerned, they also have to declare their assets, if not every year, every 2 years.
Okay, so there you have it. Asset declaration is a clarion call being given by the former judges saying there must be compulsory mandatory asset declaration by our judges and a proper audit there. Okay, let me come from who will judge the judges to the case of comedian Kunal Kamra, our other big story today, because the comedian is back in an unwanted controversy. This time, a satirical song that he put out on Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde sparked out a row. Shiv Sena workers vandalized the comedy club where Kamra had performed the song, and later the comedian was booked. Take a look.
A satirical take on Maharashtra Deputy CM Eknath Shinde has sparked a Maha-war. At the center of it is stand-up comic Kunal Kamra, who referred to Shinde as a traitor, mocking his beginnings as an auto driver. The joke infuriated the Shiv Sena that went on rampage at Mumbai's Habitat studio. A violent eruption triggered a political face-off, with Maharashtra Chief Minister branding Kunal Kamra as an urban Naxal.
या व्यक्तीला एक प्रकारे कॉन्ट्रोवर्सी तयार करून प्रसिद्धी मिळवण्याचा हव्यास आहे. त्याला अर्बन नक्सल म्हणा, लेफ्ट लिबरल म्हणा, हे सारखेच आहेत की ज्यांचा उद्देश एकच आहे की समाजातल्या मानकांना अपमानित करणं, देशातल्या संस्थांना अपमानित करणं, देशांच्या इन्स्टिट्यूशनवरनं लोकांचा विश्वास उठला पाहिजे अशा प्रकारची वक्तव्य देणं, अशा प्रकारचं काम करणारे जे लोक आहेत यांना कुठल्याही परिस्थितीत सोडता कामा नये. आणि म्हणून या संदर्भात मी सभागृहाला आश्वस्त करतो, कठोरात कठोर कारवाई ही निश्चितपणे केली जाईल.
कुणाल कामरा ने मुझे नहीं लगता कुछ गलत कहा है. गद्दारों को गद्दार करना ये किसी पर हमला करने की बात नहीं है. जो गद्दार है वो गद्दार है. अभिव्यक्ती वगैरे सत्य बोलणं हा अभिव्यक्ती स्वातंत्र्याचा हल्ला होऊ शकत नाही. हे सत्य आहे आणि आम्ही तो उघड बोलतोय की हे गद्दार आहेत. त्याच्यामुळे हा अभिव्यक्ती स्वातंत्र्य आलं कुठे याचं.
Soon the Mumbai civic body was at Kunal Kamra's Comic Act venue.
The demolition of the Habitat studio is going over there, as we cannot see this because the studio is inside on the first floor. So definitely we have to see that where this Kunal Kamra whole controversy over the comedy goes and where it ends.
The controversy has reignited the debate over free speech and intolerance.
It's very clear based on the language that they have used that they are not comedians, but they are paid agents of UBT. And this despite the fact that Maharashtra and the country have repeatedly rejected these parties for their entitled monarchistic ways. So these people will never learn.
3 तासाच्या इंटरनॅशनल पॉडकास्टमध्ये मोदी साहेबांनी हे पण म्हटलंय की क्रिटिसिझम इज अन इसेन्शियल पार्ट ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. आणि मग त्यांचे मित्रपक्ष असे वागतात. पण चला हेही एक मिनिटं बाजूला ठेवलं तरी नक्की का एकनाथ शिंदेच्या गँगला राग आला आहे. काल त्यांच्या कार्यकर्त्यांनी सिद्ध केलेलं आहे की चोर आणि गद्दार म्हणजे एकनाथ शिंदे आहे.
There is already an FIR against Kunal Kamra, and the Mahayuti government has launched a full probe. The stand-up comics call detail records and bank account details will be scrutinized. The state government is also going to investigate who is behind the satire on Eknath Shinde. With Ritwik Bhalekar and Dipesh Tripathi in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
So is the Maharashtra Mahayuti government guilty of trampling free speech? Has the Shiv Sena and its workers been allowed to get away with Tokshahi not just now but for decades? And who will draw the limits to free speech? Joining me now is Rahul Kanal, leader Shiv Sena. Rahul was among those who reportedly is being accused of inciting people to target Kunal Kamra. And I'm also joined by Seema Malik, spokesperson NCP, Sharad Pawar Group. But to you, Rahul, let me be very clear to you. Do you at any stage today accept responsibility for being involved in the violent attack in breaking down that comedy club? You have gone there, there are visuals of you, and that you and your supporters have gone and broken that comedy club and threatened Kunal Kamra that if he comes to Mumbai, you will break his bones.
Rajdeep sir, I am taking total responsibility of this act. This is a clear reaction of our emotion, and by the law and by Mumbai police, 12 of us, including me, we have been prosecuted for the same, and I am out on bail in front of you. Sir, firstly, I would just...
No, you are taking full responsibility for the act. No, you are taking full responsibility for breaking a club where this act took place. Do you know that that is against the law? Who gave you the right to do it? No, who gave? Your sentiments may be hurt, but where does the right come, Rahul, to break someone's property?
Sir, it is, sir, I totally agree. Sir, I totally agree, and I respect your emotions, sir. And sir, firstly, I would like to tell you, this place, this particular venue, I tried calling the owner first. I had got into a communication which he totally rejected. This place has 6 FIRs registered against the same very place. 16 FIR going on against this particular man, and I would like to bring to notice, sir, during COVID, this is the same Kunal Kamra who used to get, sir, you have seen me on Twitter, you know me since, I was in college, I have been working, I am clearly here as an emotional Shiv Sainik. If
emotion does not allow you to resort to violence, Mr. Rahul Kanal, I am showing the visual. You have broken someone's property. Will you compensate him? Will you compensate the club owner?
Sir, will he compensate my emotions? Will he compensate? Will he bring him Kunal Kamra for an apology? I am ready to do so. If the owner does that, I'm 110% sure I will do it.
No, 1 minute. You go into someone's comedy club where the act is performed, you break chairs, you break up the place, you smash the place, the BMC comes there and demolishes part of it. I want to understand which law are you operating under? Are you operating under the constitution of the country or Rahul Kanal and Shiv Sena's law?
BMC. Sir, I'm not.
On what ground? Okay, on what grounds have you gone there? On what law? No, Rahul, I want to know under what law have you gone and broken someone's property? Please show me the law.
As a Mumbaikar, I addressed. Sir, as a Mumbaikar, I addressed it to the owner. I called up the owner, Mr. Balraj Ghai. I have a proper call recording of the same. I will share it with you. I requested him. Firstly, sir, I am an educated man. I requested him for the same. See, this is the venue you look after, and you are giving this space on rent, and such acts are happening here. Are you aware of the same? So he was bluntly saying, no, this is Kunal Kamra, and he is at fault. You talk to him. So, sir, as per an owner is concerned,
you could have filed a case against Kunal Kamra. Rahul Kanal, you can file a case against Kunal Kamra. You have every right to do that.
Sir, that's what I did.
So please do, but you have no right to break into someone's property. No, Mr. Rahul Kanal, you can file a case. How can you break the property or based on your emotions? Tomorrow, based on emotion, this country will resort to violence. Sir, I mean, how long is this going to continue? Nagpur one day, somebody is offended last week with on the Aurangzeb issue, they resort to violence. Today you are offended on Kunal Kamra, you resort to violence. This country cannot run on Thokshahi.
So then why no debates on Rahul Kulkarni's arrest as a journalist? Why no debate that time? Why no debate when the Kangana Ranaut was her place was demolished? Why no debate that time? Why no debate for a Kirit Somaiya? Why no debate for a Navneet Rana? That is not freedom of speech. This is freedom of speech.
Let me take that point. Now you are raising a point of you are claiming the outrage is selective. I want to take that to you, Seema Malik. September 9, 2020, when your government, just a minute, when the Maha Vikas Aghadi was in power, Kangana Ranaut's Mumbai office was partially demolished for comments on Sushant Rajput's death probe. September 2020, Shiv Sena workers thrashed a former naval officer, Madan Sharma, for sharing a cartoon on Uddhav Thackeray. May 14, 2022, pharmacy student Nikhil Bhamre was held for an offensive post on Pawar. May 16, 2022, Marathi actor Ketli Chitle was held and arrested for several days for Facebook post on Sharad Pawar. Please be very clear. Are y'all in any way less culpable when it comes to intolerance, Ms. Malik? Y'all have also been intolerant when you're in power. When Shiv Sena was one party, Balasaheb Thackeray's Shiv Sena would attack journalists, would attack anyone who criticized Balasaheb Thackeray's party. Ms. Malik.
Whatever has been done in past, it is not like this. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Please go ahead.
I was just telling you that you have made certain examples of the past, and you are telling that like the things have been done in past also like this. But the thing which happened today, you know, it was. But we have not vandalized the properties like this, and you know, it is totally different. What has happened today? You know, they have taken the law and order in their hands. They have vandalized the building, and see. They have vandalized.
So y'all saying that y'all arrested people when they criticized Sharad Pawar. You didn't vandalize them. Either way, you misused your power. The truth of the matter, Seema Malik, whoever is in power, especially in a state like Maharashtra, seems to misuse their power. You arrested an actor because you didn't like the post on Sharad Pawar. Why did you arrest her? She should also have free speech.
See, this is what you are telling is totally right. I don't disagree with you, and whatever is, I mean, the rule is for everyone. I must say that. And but the thing which happened yesterday or today only, I think, the way they behaved, you know, they vandalized the things, you know, they ransacked the hotel, and it was not his property or something, and when these types of things happen, they say we will ask for the compensation from the people who have destroyed it. And the BMC also came. And then see, in case of Kangana Ranaut, so many, you know,
30 seconds.
So many notices were given to Kangana Ranaut's case.
Sir, give me
but there was no notice,
nothing. Seema Malik,
hold on. The BMC also came into action.
Seema Malik, hold on. Let me take the real questions today have to be answered by Rahul Kanal, because Rahul Kanal, the fact is, you have mentioned a few cases when the Maha Vikas Aghadi was in power.
Real questions to me.
No, 1 minute, Mr. Kanal, 1 minute. In Kangana Ranaut's case, there were charges that these were unauthorized construction. No, 1 minute, Rahul Kanal. In other cases, arrests were made. I believe they were wrongful arrests. There was misuse of state power. None of that whataboutery cannot justify your vandalism today. You have vandalized someone's property only because a comedian performed an act there.
Rahul Kulkarni?
Agreed with you.
Sir,
it is
what
wrong.
About Rahul Kulkarni? What about Arnab Goswami?
No, 1 minute, sir.
Sir, tell me one incident during Shinde Saab's tenure in power. Tell me one incident of violence. Tell me one incident where an artist was executed.
Now? So how did it happen now?
Tell me one incident where a tweet.
So why now?
Just for a tweet, someone was arrested. Sir, this is a clear reaction. Someone coming to your house, sir, you coming out from Maharashtra. आप जानते हो, sir. Sir,
file a case against him.
You will tolerate this about your seniors at home.
I will file a case.
I did that. I tried a communication with the owner. He was not ready to come out.
So therefore, you will break his property.
So you will break his property. Police.
So you will break someone's property like this.
For the same. I am not above law, but
you must pay compensation. Arrest is not. Will you compensate that owner?
Sir, you get me an apology. I pay a compensation on your channel.
No, 1 minute.
You get me an apology for my senior.
Mr. Rahul Kanal,
apology for my leader.
This is Tokshahi.
Yes, sir.
This is not the law of the land.
No, sir. This is not Tokshahi. This is Lokshahi. This is Lokshahi, sir. This is Lokshahi. This is not freedom of speech. Constructive criticism is freedom of speech. When you pay, when a customer has paid for the ticket, he is coming there for entertainment. He doesn't care. A youngster wouldn't care what your politics jumlas are.
I am very
mimicry, sir.
I don't know what to say today. I will leave it to the viewers to judge. Rahul Kanal says his emotions have been hurt. This was an emotional response. And therefore, he wants an apology. He says, only then is he willing to even consider compensation. Please think of the implications of what has just been said on the show. This is a party in power which is now resorting to this kind of violence and vandalism. Vandalism. And therefore, is it to be justified? Is this the face that we want to project when we talk of the future of this country, of a Viksit Bharat or a Viksit Maharashtra? I leave it to you, the viewers, to decide. Whataboutery is not the answer. Let's be very clear. Maharashtra has suffered for decades because of this kind of politics. Okay, let me turn to stay with Maharashtra, because 7 days after the communal clashes hit Nagpur, guess what? The bulldozers are back, rolling against the alleged rioters. Their action comes after Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis warned that the rioters would be made to pay for the damages caused to the properties in Nagpur. But now the High Court has intervened and asked under what law has the bulldozer been used, when the Supreme Court has made it very clear that due process must be followed. Take a look.
JCB at work in Nagpur. The machine sent by the city municipal corporation reached the house of Fahim Khan, the main accused in the last week riots case, Monday morning. The demolition of allegedly illegal construction was carried out under tight security. Officials, however, appeared to be evasive when asked who issued the notice and when.
हमको पुलिस विभाग से पत्र प्राप्त हुआ था और वरिष्ठों के आदेश भी थे। उस अनुसार से कार्रवाई हो रही है। तो ये हमने 24 घंटे का नोटिस दिया था MRTP, उस हिसाब से आज कार्रवाई चली।
जो NMC के अधिकारी उन्होंने कहा है कि पुलिस की ओर से निर्देश मिला था कि घर डिमोलिश किया जाए क्योंकि अवैध है, तो क्या पुलिस ने ही डिमोलिश करने के लिए कहा था?
नहीं, पुलिस का ये काम नहीं है और पुलिस ऐसे निर्देश कभी देती नहीं है। ये अतिक्रमण हटाना जो है वो महानगर पालिका की जिम्मेवारी है।
Fahim Khan's mother had moved a petition before the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court against bulldozer action. The demolition was over by the time the court took up the matter at 2:30 p.m.
कोर्ट ने फटकार लगाते हुए प्रतिवादी को ये कहा है कि ये याचिकाकर्ता भारत के नागरिक है कि नहीं, और वैसे ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो जजमेंट है उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो डायरेक्शन दिया है कि आरोपी अगर होता भी है तो भी उसको 15 दिन का समय, उसका कंस्ट्रक्शन लीगल है कि नहीं वो बताने के लिए समय दिया जाना चाहिए।
The crackdown comes after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis warned of strict measures, including bulldozer action, against those responsible for the Nagpur riots over Aurangzeb.
जहां बुलडोजर चलाने की आवश्यकता होगी वहां चलेगा, जहां गलत काम होगा उसको रौंदा जाएगा, किसी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
फिर आप गृह मंत्री हो ना, डबल इंजन चल रही है ना सरकार, पूरा देश आपके हाथ में, महाराष्ट्र आपके हाथ में, इसके बावजूद नागपुर में दंगा कैसे होता है?
The High Court has directed the Principal Secretary of Maharashtra and the Nagpur Municipal Commissioner to respond by April 15th, the next day of hearing on plea filed by Fahim Khan's mother. With Ritvik Bhalekar and Yogesh Pandey in Nagpur, Bureau Report, India Today.
Troubling questions raised by that story. Let's turn to tonight's Get Real India story. It's 2 years since the violence broke out in Manipur, triggering a deep divide between the Meitei and Kuki communities. India Today's Nalini Sharma traveled with the Supreme Court fact-finding team to get you a ground report on where the situation stands today in a scarred Manipur. Take a look.
हम होंगे कामयाब। Children at a shelter singing in the presence of Supreme Court judges, including Justice B.R. Gavai, who visited Manipur to take stock of the relief efforts in the state hit by tensions between Meitei and Kuki-Zomi communities for nearly 2 years now.
Thank you, children.
Incidentally, the relief camp itself has got a facelift ahead of the judges' weekend visit.
There are separate rooms or places that have been designated for people to stay in, and these are divided by mere curtains as doors as well as acting as walls inside. And what we are given to understand is that one space or one room has been allotted to one family, which means that there are several rooms which have 8 to 9 people living, because this has been done irrespective of what the size of the family is. Let me show you also what one room looks like from inside. Because there are no people over here, we can show it to you what it looks like. There you have, that's the room. That's the space that's available to them, where they've made their setup, they've made their beds, there's bed on the floor, and there are a few utensils, and that is the only place that has been allotted to one entire family, irrespective of what the size of the family is.
Manipur remains deeply divided, with hundreds of citizens still living in relief camps. Though the centre has allowed open movement, on the ground, Meiteis stick to the valley and Kukis to the hills.
We must come to preserve peace, and we must realize the situation. We must not do anything which will further derail or provoke any section of society. We must, because we are going for a peaceful coexistence and solution. I have no regrets. There is nothing like it. I am sure I will, in some due course, I will be able to visit Churasanpur also. I have so many great friends. I could see them. Could see my friends sitting there. I would like to go and hug them also.
Manipur has been deeply divided for nearly 2 years now. Lasting peace remains elusive for the state currently under President's rule. With Nalini Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
Just about enough time to leave you with our fact check tonight. A video making the rounds online purports to show cheating during the Union Public Service Commission exams in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand. I want to leave you with showing what the India Today fact check team found out when they looked at that. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
You are watching Fact Check segment where we bust fake news. A shocking video making the rounds online purports to show the scale of cheating for Union Public Service Commission exams in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand. The video, shot on a phone, takes viewers from classroom to classroom where civil service aspirants can allegedly be seen copying answers directly from booklets. India Today Fact Check found that this video from 27 February 2024 shows rampant cheating during a law exam in Uttar Pradesh's Barabanki. The exam was later voided, hence the said video is not of cheating for Union Public Service Commission. This fact check on viral fake news is done by India Today's team Afa. This is AI Sana signing off.